decided to make a piece about Lucia, what I found mostly were papers of her from 1947 through her death in 1982. And she was this older woman living in an institution, a bit crazy like a fox. I had recently read the book Nora by Brenda Maddox, and while it was a fascinating account of Nora's part in the life of James Joyce and her influence on his work and their relationship and their personal lives together, there were 3 chapters called Madness 1, Madness 2, and Madness 3. And this centered on Lucia Joyce, their daughter. It captured some curiosity in me about the relationship between, madness and an artist. And I also started to look at Joyce's work, because we wouldn't be really looking at Lucia unless we were looking at her relationship to her father. And what struck me quite powerfully was her relationship to his book, Finnegan's Wake. As they say, it's the most famous book by James Joyce that nobody has ever read. And when you kind of dig into it, there's a tremendous oral quality to it, but it truly is made-up language. And as I got to understand and learn more about Lucia and her life and her relationship to her father, she kind of opened that door. And maybe you want to blame her for that book. Her struggles with mental illness become a question, because it is this impossibility. How does one function in life when your reality is so skewed? What happened to her? Why was she almost erased from the family history, and yet she survived? She had this amazing story of survival. So in a way, we discover Joyce's most difficult and most experimental book by looking at her and her life. The idea was to bring Lucia to light, her contribution, her own desires, her own struggle with mental illness. And while it's a tragic life, it also has moments of transcendence.